Welcome back.
Hi guys. So we're going to be assigning a journal entry this week, but we want to talk a little bit about it beforehand, and it has to do with the perks of being single. And there are many. I know right now you can't see it, but me being a year into my breakup, Tristan obviously being happily married, but wrote a book on the joys of being single. um, we have a lot of ideas, and we hope that you could share some as well through your journal, and really get to a point where you're, just kind of embracing it. So we're going to give you some examples to go on, just to kind of get you started, because again, it can be hard to kind of get to that place, and then again, we want you to come up with some as well. You want to take a couple of
Sure.
them?
I was actually just during the break telling Janice the new thing I miss about being single is having a big bed all to myself. I realize it's very nice to snuggle with a loved one, of course, but there are some days where that loved one can just smother you physically.
Yeah.
And it's really nice to just be able to sprawl out in your bed and have it all to yourself.
Yeah.
And not have to share it. My husband sleeps like an ex, so it's difficult. So there are days where I miss that for sure.
Um, every week too on our Facebook, on Breakup Club's Facebook page, we put all the, I think it's every Wednesday or Thursday, all the things that you should feel good about being single. So some of these, if you need any kind of, ideas or inspiration, definitely check out our Facebook page. But another one is, just being able to go where you want, to do what you want, to spend what you want, to eat what you want. It really is very much a privilege. We take it for granted when we do that day in and day out. But when you think about sometimes the constraints of being in a relationship, of like having to either check in or, having to work around someone's schedule, or
it's just basically having to be considerate of someone else
Yeah.
always.
Yeah.
Which is just the right thing to do.
Yeah.
But sometimes it feels really good not to do that. Just to be your own boss and do whatever
Absolutely.
you want without even thinking, oh, well, I wonder what he's up to, or does this affect his plans if I choose to do this?
Yeah, totally. So that's
For
another
sure.
one.
And that kind of goes along with the idea of not having to compromise. It's like you
Yeah.
always get your own way when you're
Yes.
single, and that's pretty awesome. Obviously, good partnership is based on compromising, which sometimes includes negotiation. But when you're single, it's your way always,
Yeah.
and that's just fantastic.
Yeah. And this, the next idea, and this is going to go into, next week's session for those of you that signed up for it. But, being single, getting out of a relationship, you really have the ability to look at, like, your dreams and aspirations and the goals in which you want to set for yourself, whether they're personal or professional, and just doing what's right for you and your future.
Just going for it, like
Yeah.
big, and not thinking about it. Such a good example is if you decide that you want to move to another country. And if you're in a partnership, your partner might not want to.
Yeah.
Or might not be feasible for that person because of their job or their family ties or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And that can be limited.
Yeah.
But when you're single, like, there's just no stopping you on
Absolutely.
anything you want to do.
Absolutely. Another thing is, like, maybe you always want to write a book, but because of the time in which you spent in your relationship, whether it was with that person or worrying about the relationship or what have you, you couldn't get in that mindset. I mean,
Definitely. Or doing anything if you wanted to become a yoga instructor on the side, or
Yeah.
do anything. It's like if your time is consumed by another person, then it's difficult. You get a lot more time for yourself.
Yeah. And we're going to talk about that more next week, and hopefully allow you guys to set your goals in motion. You want to take another one?
Yeah. Well, let's move on to the homework assignment. So that's the journal entry, and we just kind of wanted to give you a preview of it. We'll post it on Saturday, as usual for the journal entry, but we just kind of wanted to talk about it a little bit on the video.
Yeah.
All right, but the real homework for today and for this week is a fantastic exercise. We both love this exercise, and it's we sent you a picture of a house. It looks something like this. It has a purple door on it, And we call this your single girl house. And now after this class, you're probably thinking a lot about embracing your single girl life and what that means. And you've obviously got a lot to think about in relation to what we talked about. But eventually, what we want you to do is we want you to take this house, and you could draw it bigger if you wanted to on a bigger paper. And you can also draw the rooms in different sizes and different locations. But what you're going to do with each of the rooms, and you'll see that there are 9 rooms altogether, no matter how you draw it, is to build your house, to create your life as you desire. So it's kind of feeding off what Janice was talking about all those goals and interests and priorities that you want to set. So each room in your house is dedicated to a different area of your life. And we listed them on the homework assignment. So these are the rooms that you should build. You should build a room for love. You should build a room, this is like your romantic department, your romantic room. You should build a room for your family. So, and you define family however you want to. A room for your friends, a room for your career, or if you're in school for, that. A room for spirituality, a room for hobbies, a room for money, a room for health, and then you can decide what you want the last room to be. Another cornerstone of your life, something else that's really important. And in each of these rooms, you want to ask yourself where you want to be in this situation, and also think about how you're going to get there. So if in let's say the financial house, the financial room, in the money room, you want to get out of debt. Let's say it's like maybe you want to get out of debt, maybe you want to save $5,000 so you could go on a trip, whatever it is, you want to jot those down in that room and then put some thought against the action plan for that. How are you going to make that happen? Are you going to cut your shoe budget, your latte budget? You're going to get a second job. How are you going to make sure that room is filled the way you want it to be filled? And that's just one example with the financial room. The hobbies room is another one. I know whenever I would become single again, I would always be inspired to do new hobbies and to try new things. Mm-hmm. So it's like, what are those things that you want to try? Or what are those hobbies that you kind of have abandoned? Maybe you used to always paint when you were younger and you just haven't since you got older. Maybe you want to pick that up again. Maybe you want to turn DJ classes. Who knows? Whatever it is that you want to do, that would be in the hobby room. So that's pretty much it for the single girl house. But this is a project that does take some time. So don't rush it. You might want to do like 1 room a day and really give thought, and always keeping in your mind what it is you want, not what other people have told you you'd be good at or should be your priorities, but really what feels fulfilling to you in each of these aspects.
And I think too, when you create this house, you always have, it's like this accountability of like, okay, what do I need to work on in my life in the, 8, 9 areas that are, mm-hmm. Most significant.
Definitely. And when you finish it, don't be overwhelmed by it, because obviously you've taken on a lot of reconstruction in a small amount of time, but just start to chip away at it and pick one thing a week you want to concentrate on and set, micro goals for each of those things. And you'll find that your single girl house is an amazing place to live in.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a great assignment. Okay. So that's it for this week, the Me, Myself, and I Can't Wait week. And, we can't wait till you get to this point in your journey. So we hope it helped, and we'll see you on the Ning site. Okay, bye.